sense of wanting to destroy myself would come back so strongly in so many times in my life. So I'm very graced when I've got people in my life who can really remind me of who I am and what I'm about. I need that help sometimes.
You're watching the Spotlight Network, starring Hollywood's newsman,
and if you were just
Logan Crawford.
Investigators, they now believe a single member.
He works with TV and film legends. And now, Logan's shining the spotlight on the world's top emerging authors and creators.
International were abducted.
This is Spotlight with Logan Crawford, streaming on Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire TV.
I'm Logan Crawford, and right now on Spotlight, we take a heartfelt and thought-provoking look into the mind and spirit of a man navigating bipolar disorder, spirituality, doubt, and belief through humor, poetry, and raw honesty. The name of the book, 55 Reflections of a Searching Skeptic. It is written by a terrific author. His name is Melcher, and he has penned a book that invites readers into 55 poetic reflections and 2 postscripts that explore mental health, faith, personal growth, and the wisdom, the surprising wisdom found in life's everyday encounters. He also goes by the pen name Corsair, so that's something to look out for as well. We're delighted to have this very talented author join us here today. We thank the team at Inks and Bindings for helping us put him on TV today, and we ask viewers like you to support authors like him by subscribing to our channel and by purchasing his amazing book. The links are below this interview. Rich, thanks so much for joining us here today.
Thanks, Logan. Good to be here.
Great to have you on the show. Your poems are wonderful. They're right on the money. Some are very humorous. Poems like The Tiger Without Any Teeth and Butterfly Blind Spot combine both humor and profound metaphor. Talk to us a little bit about the creations you have within the covers of this book.
Well, Butterfly Blind Spot is a reflection about how the butterfly is beautiful, but it can't see itself. And so his blind spot is that he doesn't have eyes to look at how beautiful he is. And so we need other people in our lives to be able to, other butterflies, to tell us what we look like and tell us the good things about us, you know. Or else otherwise we can miss it. And it's really too bad. People need to be aware of how to compliment other people and put people up instead of put people down. And there's so much putting people down in politics these days. It's nice to get a person out there who's putting people up, you know.
Exactly. And people around us are our mirrors, you know, just like the butterfly can't see him or herself. We have to have our mirrors around us as well. And hopefully they're giving us good reflections about our lives. Let's start with one of the themes of your book, or the concepts of your book, spirituality. Mm-hmm. What does spirituality mean to you personally, Rich?
Wow, what a question. I think spirituality is being self-aware enough to know that I am not God, and that whatever way I choose God to be, whether it's the universe or God or whoever I talk about, a higher power, that I'm not the most important person in the world. And it's a sense, spirituality is like, it's an inner warmth, inner sense of who I am, truly who I am. And like when my brothers and sisters will talk to me on the phone, they know I'm going to bring something up about God and what's going on in my relationship with God, because it's very important to me. So that's all good. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely. What do you hope readers gain from 55 Reflections of a Searching Skeptic?
What a great question. I think what I'd like people to gain is for them to realize and to be aware that what they have to say in their life, whatever they're doing, is important, that they're important people. Because sometimes I think, you know, we get left off the train. We live our lives and we don't really think about who we are much. And I think one of the things about spirituality, about this book, is that I've done a lot of thinking about who I am. And a lot of it's according to the Holy Scriptures of the Bible, but a lot of other things too.
Yeah. You've been very open about your bipolar disorder. How has it shaped both your writing and your faith journey, would you say?
Oh, what a great question. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Well, when you live with bipolar, there's always that lurking question when suicidal ideation will come back. That's been a challenge for me because suicidal ideation, thinking you want to commit suicide, has come back a number of times in my life. And I've been talking to my counselor and my doctor and my friends and everybody about why that would be, that this sense of wanting to destroy myself would come back so strongly and so many times in my life. So I'm very graced when I've got people in my life who can really remind me of who I am and what I'm about. I need that help sometimes.
Yeah, well, we want you here. We want you producing wonderful books like 55 Reflections and contributing to our wonderful universe around us.
Thank
Talk
you,
to
man.
us about Corsair, why you chose it as a pen name. Was that a car or something? I feel like there was a
Well, it's a
Corsair
car,
that
but
was a
it's an
car.
airplane, and it was a ship. Back in the
Oh, okay.
1700s, the French Corsair was a pirate ship,
Yeah.
and it was a very fast ship. And then in World War II, they named one of their airplanes Corsair. I think we got a picture of it in my book here. Let's see here.
Yeah.
That's the Corsair. It's a very unique airplane. It had 2,000 horsepower, and the engine was
Wow.
so big that the cockpit was in the middle of the plane instead of the front of the plane.
Amazing.
And so I came to that realization. There was a show back in 1977, 76 called Baba Black Sheep, which
Hmm.
was a story of Pappy Boyington and his renegade Corsair pilots.
Yeah.
And it's a true story about the Corsair pilots in the South Pacific and how they worked fighting off the Japanese. So it's a true story, but I adopted it because I love the plane so much. I thought, you know what? I'm going to make this my middle name. So legally, my name is Richard Corsair Melcher. So I changed my middle
Cool.
name from Lewis to Corsair.
Very, very cool. Who was the star of Bob Black Sheep? Was it,
Robert,
Ro- I feel
not
like
De
saying
Niro,
Robert Wagner, but it was a different
not De
Robert.
Niro, Robert. Oh,
I
wow.
can picture him. He
I
had
know, I
dark
can
hair, a
picture him too.
handsome guy. I can't remember.
Yeah.
But it was a long time ago, but it was a memorable show and it was a good show. And I didn't realize it was based on a true story. So that's
Yeah. Mhm.
very, very cool. Who are your heroes? Talk to us about that and how they influence or appear in your reflections.
You know, one of my biggest heroes is my director for our choir. I'm in a gospel choir with All Saints Catholic Church, and Sheila Bost is the choir director, and she is so full of the Spirit of God. She's just an amazing leader for us. She guides us in how we sing, how we act, and we it's a pretty popular choir because we've been to Paris, I went to Rome in 2006 with this choir. So it's a gospel choir in a Catholic church is pretty unique. It's going to be a black Catholic church if it's got
Yeah.
gospel music, most likely. And so I just love singing gospel music, and it's a very much of a blessing to be part of this choir because they're just faith-filled people that really want to bring the word of God out. And
Yeah.
we do it through gospel music. It's beautiful. Mhm.
Wonderful, wonderful. It's such a great way to connect with God is through music,
Mhm.
listening to it, singing it, having it part of the worship service. I think it's wonderful. Reflection 20 introduces rock. Talk to us about how you developed that code and how it's guided your life.
Yeah, the RROCKSS Code is 7 different words, RROCKSS. It stands for respect, responsibility, observation, cooperation, knowledge, safety, and service. Yeah, service. And what I did was I went through those 7 words and I described what, like I have a number 20. Um, I have a quote for each one. Here we go. Here's cooperation. Cooperation means taking the time to challenge that we encourage we courageously seek the opportunity in every difficulty rather than spotting the difficulty in every opportunity. And that is a major theme of my life, seeking the opportunity, because we've always got opportunities in life to share who we are and what we want to be in life. And we also have the opportunity, Logan, is to be behind other people and
Yeah,
helping them see their goodness, like that butterfly blind, like
exactly.
seeing who they are and what they're about. And my theme in the book is very positive. I was reading it just recently and looking through, and I was surprised looking back now that many of the readings were biblical. I didn't really realize how many of them were based on something I had read in the Bible, but they are, and so that's kind of what this book's all about.
Yeah. Many of your poems also mix humor with serious themes. Why is humor such an important tool for you?
Oh, well, if you can't laugh at yourself, you're in trouble.
Yeah.
And a lot of humor about that I am involved in is laughing at myself and things I've done that have been silly or what I've been doing that's kind of ridiculous. And when you have bipolar disorder, you can do things in your life that you really didn't plan at all, and nobody would plan. And some serious consequences can come from having this illness, because what happens is if one gets in a psychotic state, which is kind of a high manic state, you lose the ability to know who you are and what you're about. And it can be very scary for everybody, for me and for the people involved in my life.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely frightening. Your poem, The Tiger Without Any Teeth, examines humorously teaching special needs kids. Talk to us a little bit about your work in education and what it taught you about humanity.
Wow, I remember this young man. What was his name? Kevin, I think. And he was a young man. I was working at a grade school in Minnesota. He was a young man who couldn't talk. He could walk. He walked all over the place, so he could walk. That was his main thing. He loved to walk, but he couldn't talk, and he couldn't communicate anything to you about what was going on. He was autistic, I believe, is what his illness was. And his ability to see. This one time I was with him, and I was holding his hand, and suddenly the world opened up like this, and I could see back about 50 years to a person who was in a concentration camp, suffering in a concentration camp. And suddenly I was transported, holding his hand, there with that person who was suffering in the concentration camp in World War II. And then I was whisked forward in the future to someone who I've never met and maybe doesn't even exist yet, but someone who's a young person who's suffering from, let's say, just feeling really lonely. And so holding his hand, it just transported me into the life of this person in the future that I don't know who it is, but I was able to comfort that person and be there with that person. So my blessings of being with Kevin was, even though he couldn't talk and he couldn't relate to what I was talking about, I don't know really what he was taking in, because he was so aware of what was going on, but he couldn't tell anything back, couldn't describe anything back to you because he couldn't talk. But that was an amazing thing, being transported through holding his hand in the past and in the future. And blessings like that come sometimes, I think, using our imagination. And that's what a lot of life is about, using our imagination, finding what we can find through using the tools of creativity and purpose.
Yeah, absolutely. So important to tap into our creativity, and purpose is a word we're hearing more and more nowadays, because it's so important to have a purpose in life. What do you hope readers take away from your book when they're done and they close that last page?
Grateful. I think gratitude has been a really strong word in my vocabulary lately, just about all the things that have gone well for me and the things that have gone well for the people that I know and love. I would hope that they would have gratitude for seeing a different view of life through the eyes of a person who has bipolar disorder, who has struggled with suicidal ideation, a person who's struggled with self-esteem and these things, and gained a sense for themselves of a better sense of self-esteem and hope in their lives.
Yeah, absolutely. Wonderful. Well, the name of the book is 55 Reflections of a Searching Skeptic. It is an honest, poetic, and uplifting journey through mental health, spirituality, and the search for meaning. Rich, thank you so much for joining us here today.
Thanks, Logan. I really appreciate being with you.
I appreciate your time, your insight, your humor, and the wonderful work you've done on this book. To the folks at home, I'm Logan Crawford, thanking you for your time this time Until next time.